people who have been on again, off again with diets, but can't seem to lose weight. Well, if you don't have someone who can begin to understand the most basic foundation concepts of nutrition, but also the psychology of eating, how are they going to help you? They'll just give you a diet, it'll work for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then it won't work anymore.
So the story is really looking at questions that a person should ask when they're thinking about hiring a trainer. You want to find someone who's going to be the right fit.
Right.
And I think, someone like myself, for example, I wouldn't necessarily know what questions to ask. Like, I could ask you what your certifications are, but your answers might not mean anything.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. So, I guess where would someone start in their search then, in terms of the questions to ask?
So I think one of the first questions that you need to ask if you're looking for a trainer is, well, what is it that you want to achieve?
Okay.
Like, what does the individual want to accomplish? So if you can identify what it is that you want, then you can look for the person who offers what you want. So yeah, if you need rehab, if you have knees that aren't functioning how they used to, and you want to work on those and also get fit in the same time, you might look for someone who's more inclined to physiotherapy or someone with a kinetics background. If you're looking for fat loss, weight loss, then you might be inclined to check to see if someone has certification in nutrition.
Okay.
So I think asking yourself what your goal is the very first question, because then you can begin to, kind of hone in on the people who have the skills to help what you want to fix.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so once you, I guess, have answered your question to yourself, then what?
Well, then I definitely would, look into the field of where what you want to fix or what you want help with. So, there's a lot of, sorry?
Go ahead.
Okay, there's a lot of different trainers. They're almost kind of like a dime a dozen right now, but there is a lot that have different certifications. So, like I said, there's going to be people who are more inclined to, like, for example, say myself, I have a background in psychology, so I'm going to offer the psychological component of fat loss, weight loss, health and wellness, right? Someone who has a background in physiotherapy might offer more rehab, helping with that. So looking at someone's qualifications is actually really important. In the 10 years I've been a trainer, maybe 2 people have asked me what my qualifications are. Seriously, and I've had hundreds and hundreds of clients. So it seems crazy that someone wouldn't want to know what I was good at, what my background is in, what courses I've taken, what certifications I hold. Because I think, like, if you want a good match, you really need to do your due diligence and do your homework and figure out how someone can help you. Because if they've never gone into that field, like, for example, like, people who have been on again, off again with diets, but can't seem to lose weight. Well, if you don't have someone who can begin to understand the most basic foundation concepts of nutrition, but also the psychology of eating, how are they going to help you? They'll just give you a diet, it'll work for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then it won't work anymore.
Okay, that's good. So then it would be asking, what are your qualifications? What experience do you have? Helping someone achieve similar goals.
Right.
Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think someone has to necessarily have 10 years of experience in the field in order to be the perfect fit. There's a lot of people who are brand new, that would do a good job too. But you've got to figure out what you want. So if you want someone to help you with something that's a deeper issue, then you need to go with someone with more experience. If you want to just have someone to give you a program and a plan to get you started, then someone at a local gym facility might be okay. Someone who's new to the game.
Okay, I see. Well, and then I guess when you maybe narrowed it down to someone you think has the qualifications for what you're looking to achieve, then what are you asking them? Do you ask for references?
No one has.
No, Really?
No one has. Honestly, they don't. I mean, sometimes if you have a website and you've got transformation pictures, they speak for themselves. And I think that's a good thing. I think as you begin to be in the industry, you could ask word of mouth. So if you're asking around, hey, have you heard of a good trainer? What do they like? What do they do? But I think another good question to ask of someone if you're interviewing them for the job is, what can I expect out of our sessions? What can I expect out of you, out of how you'll help me? Even get in depth of what does a training session look like? What does the accountability between us look like? Are you available for, phone calls or emails? What does that look like? And really get them to paint a picture. I do that during my consultation. I'll give people a little rundown of what a typical session might look like and where we will go with it. And I think that helps give them a good idea of what they can expect from the trainer.
Okay. Right. I mean, I think that's great. And then, it just helps you know how you're going to be spending your time and what you're going to be doing.
Right. Gives you an idea, exactly. And then if it's not the direction you want to go, then you look for someone else who's in the same direction. So really asking what a typical session would look like is important, because they might say, well, we're going to go to the gym and I'm just going to give you, a workout and you're just going to do it. I don't interact. I just sit there and watch you and I just push you hard, and that's what you're going to get. And then no talking, no emailing. I don't have time for you. I mean, who knows? But if you need the coaching and the nurturing, you might want to look for someone who has more of that inclination.
Okay, that's good. Other questions?
Yeah, I have a couple, just two more here if you want.
Okay. So painted the picture. We know what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
I would say that you just need to look for someone you connect with. So that's why like complimentary consultation is always a good idea. If they offer one, definitely go for coffee, meet with them, and kind of get a vibe of how you interact, how you connect. You're looking for someone who's going to challenge you, because that's why you're paying someone, right? Ultimately, you want to change, you want to shift. So you want to look for someone who challenges you, and they're not afraid to do that, right? So, but also, personalities can clash. If they're a drill sergeant and you don't respond well to something like that, that may not be a good connection for you. So I think having an introductory meeting and getting a feel for their personality and how they motivate people is good. I actually ask clients how are they motivated? Like, what motivates them? Do they like a soft approach, a hard approach, harsh, what sort of approach do they like, and how do they feel motivated? That gives me a good idea if I'd be a good fit for them too, right? Because I know my style and I know what I can offer, but I just want to see if they would connect with that too.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of like a no holds bar. I will tell you the truth, but with empathy, right? Like, I understand your situation, but also let me just speak the truth to you too.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I do think that's important. You are going to be spending a lot of time with this person, and if you're not going to get on like a house on fire,
right?
Maybe it shouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I guess it's like dating, maybe.
Yeah. It is. You do spend a lot of time. You end up talking a lot. So, if you don't connect, then it's, yeah.
Okay.
And I had a final thought too, is just to look for someone who's a learner, who's constantly learning. I think you can tell by, if you do a little bit of your due diligence and do your research, do they have blogs out? Are they attending conferences? Are they writing articles? The fitness industry is constantly shifting and changing. It changes, every year it's something new, something different. So does your trainer stay up with the current fads? Are they, even nutrition shifts from a keto diet to paleo to Weight Watchers, whatever. I mean, there's all these different shifts, and they happen quite quickly. So look for someone who, isn't back in the Stone Age, but who's staying current with the current trends and science of physiology.
Thanks. I think those are all really good.
All right.
I think you must have experience with this.
Does it sound like it?
Yeah.
That's good.